Hello, my name is Vianey Valdez. I just graduated, so I was a fourth year in the spring. Double majored in global health and human development, and I'm officially done at this point. My parents are from very different places. My mom was born and raised in a tiny little town, a pueblito in central Mexico, close to Mexico City. And my dad was born and raised in a tiny town in rural Colorado. So just very different. And it was really cool to see those two cultures. So my dad was like full on Hispanic, like family settled in like that area like a long time ago in Colorado, and then my mom, that was where her family. There's some like indigenous roots for her as well, so it was just really cool to connect with both of those cultures, and both of them being Spanish speaking. I feel like I really like to speak Spanish, and I just feel very connected to that. So when I was growing up, the philosophy that my family had about education was, I guess, kind of mixed because my mom, she only was able to go to middle school, and that was a lot back then. Like she's the only one in her sibling group of 10 that went to middle school. So on her end, it was very like, appreciate that you can go to school and that opportunity is there. And for my dad, he was able to graduate college. So it was a very different dynamic, but I think both of them, there was no intense pressure, like you have to do really good in school, like it was not intense like that, but it was very like, you get to go to school, like do as best as you can. And I think that mentality really helped me because I appreciated being able to learn, and I also wasn't totally stressed out like, oh my gosh, I have to do well in school. It was more like a gradual like, oh, school is fun, I get to go to school. And it was just like a very relaxed thing for me, and something that, you know, school was just really fun for me. I love to go to school and just like, play and like do assignments and stuff because it was just fun for me. So I guess that's the best way to put it for me. I knew nothing about the UC system, to be completely honest. I was in the running for a full ride scholarship to any school in the US. So I was like, well, if I happen to get it, I honestly didn't think I was going to, but I thought maybe I should just apply to some out of state schools for if I do get it. And my sister got the same scholarship, so she went to USC. And I came out to California to visit her a couple of times, and it was just so beautiful. And I thought, it's nice and warm. It's very different from Colorado. So I just applied like on a whim. I was like, well, the UC system, like that's like one of the main, like college systems in the US. So I applied and I got into a few, and UCSD, I was like, San Diego, I had been here once and I was like, it was very beautiful. I'm just going to go there. I honestly knew nothing about the campus. I knew nothing about nothing basically. And I just applied. But once I started, trying to make my decision, I really just focused in on like what the college had to offer. And I got in as a human bio major, and I had heard a lot of really, really good things about their biology department. So that was just, I think, the factor of like its location, how good the education was, and just like the diversity, I think, as well. I came from like a very not diverse tiny town in Colorado, like I said. So just being able to be exposed to that diversity really excited me. And so I think those three factors, like location, the quality of the education, and just being exposed to different people, different cultures, really got me very excited. And I think that's why I ultimately chose UCSD. As an undergrad at UCSD, my experience was, it was very scary in the beginning. I'd say I'm a very independent person, so it wasn't so much like, you know, cooking for myself or like doing my own laundry. That was totally fine. It was more of feeling like I didn't belong here. I just felt very, very not capable in the beginning. I still have memories of, being kicked out of my chem lab because my pants were too short, and that was really scary because I was given like 10 minutes, and campus is huge, so I did not make it back in the 10 minutes. Thankfully, I was still able to stay in the lab, but I just remember being so like frustrated with myself and just not feeling worthy enough. And I just remember my first quarter of college just getting through it, and my GPA, I felt so bad about myself. But after just accepting this is college, like it's going to be okay, and, just pushing through that, I think I did a lot better. And then once I started to get more involved in like not just courses and meeting people, it just got so much better. And once I started working on campus, I think that really is what changed it for me, because I felt like I had a greater purpose than just studying. So once I started working for the Triton Food Pantry, I felt like things just got so much better because I felt like so connected to campus. I would see so many faces and just like hear so many different things, and I was collaborating with so many different departments on campus. Even during COVID, I felt like I was still here because I was just doing so much, and I think that's what really changed it for me. And that was, my experience has been, except for first quarter, my experience has been so, so great, and I feel like it was just great overall. Finding community at UCSD was definitely something that I didn't think was, possible because I'm a pretty shy person. I don't necessarily go out of my way to like make friends. It's more of like, I guess I like to attract like a magnet, like, okay, if you want to be my friend, that's great. And I don't necessarily put the energy into it. But I figured, I was like, this is a huge campus. There's so many people, so many things. Like, I don't necessarily think I'm going to attract friends. I should probably go out there and like try. So I found community by, I got my first year and my second year, I was very involved with the Newman Center, which is the Catholic organization on campus. And I went to a barbecue, which I was just like, well, I'll get a free burger, I guess. And that turned out to be like the best decision ever because I met like my best friends from college. To this day, we like live together, and they're like the most amazing ever. And so I think that if I hadn't gone there, I realized that I wouldn't have had that. And I also found community in like the basic needs community. So like, again, people who work in the Hub Basic Needs Center, the pantry, and again, a bunch of departments on campus that we collaborated with. So I found community in those like two main ways. And even through my courses, like I see people, I'm like, oh, like remember me like from first year, and they're like, yeah, and like we kind of just like chat. So it's a lot about, I guess, not being afraid and making community, because it's very easy to like go lock yourself up in your dorm and just be like, I don't want to do this. But it's scary, but it's totally worth it. And I think UCSD, since it's so big, there's just like so many different places that you can find community. I did go to a couple of things my first year where I was like, I don't know, I don't really connect with this. And that's okay, I think it's just a lot of hit or miss, but when you hit, it's like totally worth it. So I would say community is everywhere, but just, don't get frustrated or stressed when it maybe isn't going that well. Some advice that I would give to incoming students is just don't be so hard on yourself. I feel like I could have made even more community if from the get-go I would have, just been a little more nice to myself. I was so stressed out. There were times where I would be invited, or like I had the opportunity to go somewhere my first year, and I just didn't go because I was like, I have to finish those calculus problems first, or like I need to do better in that chem class. And it's like, yes, that's very true, and that's being very responsible, but I think if you manage your time right, you have time to do all of that stuff. And I just wish I wouldn't have been so mean to myself, because in the end, I think it just resulted in like me doing worse in my courses, because I was just like so frustrated. Like I felt like I wasn't getting a breath of fresh air like ever, because I wasn't really going anywhere other than to my courses. That was, like I said, first quarter. Even like my sweet friends that I have now, like they'd be like, come on, like they were second years, they're like, come to our apartment and like let's make cookies. And I was like, no, I have a chem lab tomorrow morning. And I really regret not doing that, So I would advise, just be kind to yourself. Obviously stay on track, but like it's okay if you go make cookies with your friends. Like it's fine, like it's gonna be fine. I am actually very excited. I got a job with the University of Michigan. It's a remote job through the university, but I'll be in my community back in Colorado. They're running a study on just like the aging cohort, and I'm just going to be like collecting data for them on, the health and well-being of those individuals. So I think it's really cool because I'll be able to go to like community members' houses, like people that I know, and just like talk to them about their health, like how are you doing, like their socioeconomic status, and just so many other things, like weighing them, measuring them, just a lot of really cool stuff. And it's a start. I definitely want to work for food security efforts like later in my life. This is just something that popped up, and it really like correlates with my majors. So that was really exciting. I didn't expect that to like come up, but it did. And so now that I've secured that job, I want to work at that for a while, and then I really want to continue volunteering with food security efforts and just see if like something comes up later in my career to do that. But for now, have a job, which I'm very excited about. And I just really am excited because I feel like UCSD gave me so many cool courses to like learn about why things are the way that they are. So now when I go interview like this older population, I feel like I can just connect so many things from my courses. Like I was like one course away from specializing in aging. So it's just very cool. And I feel like I'll be able to apply a lot of what I learned here to my job, which I didn't think I was going to be able to because it's like kind of a niche major. So I didn't really think that I was going to be able to, but I will be. So that's exciting, and I think I'm ready to go with that.